What's up, Yarny Box Crocheters? Today we're making Chris the T-Rex. Your Yarny Box kit this month comes with an extra little bonus Santa hat so that you can make a cute little hat for his head. In your Yarny Box kit, you'll find that the magic ring is already started for you. This is so that we can start off the project nice and easy and you don't have to worry about a complicated beginning. This is the very first round of the project. Here you'll see I'm pointing out the little V's. These are actually stitches, so you should be able to go around the circle and count 6 stitches or 6 V's. The stitches are what you're going to be working into in the next round in order to build on your project. You'll also find 2 stitch markers. This blue one here is marking the very first stitch of the round. That's where we're going to place the first stitch of the next round. The green stitch marker is marking the loop in which you're going to place your crochet hook to start working. You can see here that you can actually tighten and loosen this loop by pulling on the string that's attached to the ball of yarn. There are 2 different ways in which you can hold your crochet hook. This first way is like a knife. The second way is like a pencil. I personally find the pencil hold a little bit easier, but it's up to you. You can play around and hold your crochet hook however you'd like. Next, you're going to take the yarn that's attached to the ball of yarn and wrap it a couple times around your finger. And then I like to pinch the magic ring with my middle finger and thumb like this. Again, this is just how I like to work on my projects, but as you go along, you can play with how you want to hold everything. So you can remove the green stitch marker and pop in your crochet hook into that loop. You're going to want to tighten the loop to make it so that it's pretty tight on the crochet hook. Don't make it so tight that you can't move the crochet hook, but you definitely don't want it to be too loose. Something like this is appropriate. The trickiest part about learning how to crochet is learning how to hold everything in your hands. I definitely recommend rewatching the beginning of this video until you get the hang of holding everything. And if you accidentally undo your magic ring, I have a tutorial linked down below of how to redo that. So let's get started on round 2. We're going to start off by removing the blue stitch marker. You can pull on it a little bit and you'll find a little hole. That's exactly where we're going to be inserting our hook into to make the very first stitch of round 2. So once you pop out your stitch marker, you're going to insert your hook exactly where the stitch marker was. Before we insert a hook, I just want to make sure that you're holding your hook properly. So you want to make sure it's parallel to your body and make sure the hook is facing downwards. That's going to make it a lot easier to guide the yarn in and out of each stitch. So pop your hook into the stitch. Again, it looks like a V, so now you should have 3 little loops on your hook. Next, we are going to yarn over, which means we're grabbing the yarn with our crochet hook like this, and we are gliding the yarn through the first 2 little loops on our hook like so. And now we're going to do that again, so yarn over and pull the yarn through the 2 loops on your hook. This is called a single crochet. This is the first stitch of the round. Our next stitch is going in the exact same stitch that we were just in. So this stitch and not this stitch. We're going in the same hole that we were just in. So insert your hook into that little V, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops like so. Now you have 2 loops left on your hook, so yarn over and pull through those 2 remaining loops. What we just did is called an increase because we popped 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Now you're going to count down 2 stitches away from the loop or the first stitch that we made, and you're going to mark it with a stitch marker. Next, we're going to make another single crochet in the next available stitch. So that's going to be this one here. Pop in your hook. There's 3 loops on your hook now. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. And then yarn over again and pull through those second 2 loops. That was 1 single crochet. Now we're going to make our second single crochet in the same exact hole. So in the same place we just were, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through the second 2 loops. Again, this is called an increase because we placed 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So now we have 4 new stitches, but we've only worked into 2 stitches from the previous round. So here I'm just pointing out with my thumb the 4 new stitches that we've done. Carrying on to the next stitch, we are going to make a single crochet, and now we're going to make a second single crochet in the exact same hole. Moving on to the next stitch. Again, here's your first single crochet, and here's your second single crochet in the same stitch. Again, popping your first single crochet in there and your second single crochet. And now we're moving on to the very last stitch of the round. 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets. That completes round 2. So because we placed 2 single crochets in each of the stitches of the previous round, we now have 12 little V's or 12 stitches in this round. So you should be able to go around and count 12 stitches. For round 3, we are going to be increasing in every other stitch around the circle this time. That's going to bring us from 12 stitches up to 18. So go ahead, remove your stitch marker and reinsert your hook. Then place 1 single crochet in the next available stitch right where your stitch marker was. Now we are going to mark this stitch as it's the first stitch of the next round. And we are going to increase in the next stitch. And again, increasing is placing 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So that's 1, and going in for the second one in the same hole. Now you can see we've done 3 stitches, but we've only worked into 2 stitches. So single crochet in the next available stitch, and then increase in the next stitch. Then single crochet, then increase. Single crochet, and then increase. Just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. Okay, now you should have 18 stitches in your circle. For round 4, we are going to be increasing in every 3rd stitch. So remove your stitch marker and place your first single crochet of the round, and then mark that stitch. Then place another single crochet, then make an increase in the 3rd stitch here. Then single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and increase. Single crochet, single crochet, and then increase. And keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. At the end of this round, we are going to have 24 stitches. Now for round 5, this is going to be our last round of increasing. Make your first single crochet of the round and then mark that stitch. We are increasing in every 4th stitch this time. Single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet again, then make an increase in this stitch. And just keep repeating this pattern of 3 single crochets followed by an increase until you get back to the stitch marker. We're going to have 30 single crochets at the end of this round. For round 6 and the next 4 rounds as well, we are just placing 1 single crochet in each stitch around. We're not increasing anymore, so at the end of every round for the next 4 times, we are still going to have 30 single crochets. I'm going to do round 6 with you guys. So remove your stitch marker, place 1 single crochet, and then mark that stitch. Then continue placing 1 single crochet in each stitch around the circle, and continue this until you get back to the stitch marker. The next 3 rounds are the exact same thing, so you're just placing 1 single crochet in each stitch around for the next 3 rounds. I'm going to do those off camera and I'll meet you back once we've done that. But here I'm going to show you how to count your rounds just in case you get lost. This is round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So do your 3 rounds off camera and I'll meet you back once you're done. Now that you have those rounds complete, we are all on round 10. For round 11, you can remove your stitch marker and make your first single crochet of the round. And then, as always, mark that stitch. Now we are going to do 10 more single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we are going to do a decrease. So what a decrease is combining 2 stitches into 1 stitch. As you can see here, every stitch has a front and a back loop. This is the back loop, and this is the front. For a decrease, we are going the front loop only of the next 2 stitches. So insert your hook, and then insert your hook into the front loop only of the next stitch, like so. Then immediately into the front loop of the next stitch as well. So you should have 3 loops on your hook right now. Yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over and pull through 2. Now we are going to do 3 more decreases. So front loop only of the next 2 stitches. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then again, decrease. And 1 more decrease. And now we are going to do 11 more single crochets to get back to the stitch marker. As you can see, the decreases really shape out the mouth of the T-Rex. So we're going to have 26 stitches at the end of this round. You can see the head taking shape here. The next few rounds are going to be similar to this round. And before we continue on, we are just going to weave in the end before the head gets too small. So to do this, you just grab your yarn needle and thread it onto the yarn. You can flip the head inside out and just take your needle and go in and out of random holes in the center. Just make sure you're only going 1 stitch over for each weave end. And this just secures the center so that it doesn't come unraveled later on. For round 11, we are going to remove our stitch marker. And place your first single crochet of the round and mark that stitch. Next, we are going to do 6 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we are going to do 6 decreases. So first decrease, second decrease, the third, the fourth, fifth, and sixth. Now we're going to do 7 single crochets to get back to our stitch marker. At the end of this round, you're going to have 20 stitches. For round 12, we are going to begin by removing our stitch marker and placing your first single crochet of the round. And then mark that stitch. Now we are going to do another 4 single crochets. Next we are going to do 5 decreases. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then continue single crocheting 5 more times until you get back to the stitch marker. This completes the head of the T-Rex. We're just going to pause here, and in part 2 I'm going to show you how to continue on with the rest of the body. Don't fasten off quite yet, I will meet you in part 2.